Hi guys, welcome back to the BMW Guy channel, and today we're going to be discussing the dreaded ABS fault traction control issue. So you may have seen on this car before, I've talked about it. It's when basically the ABS lights come on. You get an absolute cluster of lights come on when you start driving the car, and if you scan the fault code, it will say that there's a wheel speed sensor issue. So today I'm going to be going in depth of what the issue is, what causes it, the symptoms of it, and because at the end of the day this ABS light coming on is sort of the failure, and then I will be discussing the ways to fix it. So yeah, I'll just, before we start, I'll show you what it looks like in the dash. When you start the car, I think this is important to know. So as you can see, we have our ABS warning light coming up there, showing the fact that there's an issue. When we scan this, it's going to tell us that we had a wheel speed sensor fault, an inaccurate reading. So essentially what this fault means, or what it is caused by the what's called a reluctor ring on the end of the drive shaft. So just have to get down on the floor here to show you. If we take a look underneath the car, and I'll try and, there we go. So actually it's not that easy to see, but where the drive shaft goes into the hub here, there is what's called a reluctor ring, and essentially the drive shafts on these cars, I'll just get that sorted again, the drive shafts on these cars tend to corrode after a few years. So this is obviously a 2007. It's done nearly 100,000 miles, as you may have just seen. It's on 99,996. And basically what happens is the end of the drive shaft corrodes and expands. And when it expands, this causes the wheel speed sensor to essentially be contacted by the reluctor ring. The reluctor ring is essentially just a ring that goes around the end of the drive shaft with lots of slots in it. The wheel speed sensor will read how fast the slots are moving per second, and then give you the speed of the wheel as a result. So this obviously affects the speedometer as well. So what happens is that reluctor ring swells up just enough to make contact with the wheel speed sensor, which causes an incorrect reading, and then that's what eventually causes the engine warning lights, so the ABS warning lights up on the dashboard. In terms of symptoms, I've had quite a few people contact me about this. It's essentially, you'll notice that the traction control comes on during cornering. It's mainly always the left hand side that goes on the UK cars, right hand side that goes on European cars, just because they're the side that are sort of in the gutter, taking up most of the crap and salt and stuff like that. So yeah, the symptoms are essentially your traction control is going to come on when you're cornering. So when it first started on my car, I was literally taking a left hand bend, went to put my foot down through the bend, and the car sort of juddered, and the traction control light, which is essentially a triangle with a circle around the outside and right in the middle of the dash, came on, and I thought, well, that's a bit odd, maybe it was just a bit slippery. And it started being quite gradual. Every now and then it would happen, but then it started to get more and more common, until one day we had the ABS lights come on, and to be honest, I thought that was the end of the world. But what I then discovered later on is that ABS light was as a result of the reluctor ring swelling to such a point that it was hitting the wheel speed sensor. So yeah, basically, if you're experiencing this, the easiest way to sort of make do is just to turn your traction control off. You need to bear in mind, obviously, that you will not have a safety net if the back end goes. So only do it if you're comfortable. But it got to the point on this car where to go anywhere, I had to make sure that the traction control was off. Otherwise, the car just wouldn't go anywhere. So in terms of fixing it, it's basically the easiest way to do it is a brand new drive shaft, which from BMW is about £750, despite the part only costing 120 or so. So obviously, as I've spoken about in my how much should you pay for BMW maintenance video, the prices will vary on the BMWs. I mean, if you go to an independent garage, then you're going to get a better price than if you go to a main dealer. But if you wanted to do it yourself, and it is a fairly simple job, then you could probably do it for around £100 to fit a new drive shaft. There is another method where you can just replace the reluctor ring on the end of the drive shaft, where you essentially have to remove the entire drive shaft anyway, cut the reluctor ring off, and you can buy the reluctor rings for around £3 or £4 off eBay. So what you have to do is you have to essentially clean off the end of the drive shaft, clean off the corrosion, and replace the reluctor ring, which will then eventually, when you reinstall it, give you no issues. You do also need to replace the sensor with all of this, so it's not going to be just a £3 fix. You will have to replace the sensor, but again, it's a budget option should you not have the cash to do it. I personally find this problem okay to live with. It's past its MOT because the fault was cleared, and we had a brief period where the fault sort of didn't show, so that was quite good really. But yeah, it's one of those things on these cars that it will affect every A87 at one point. The problem with doing the cheap fix, as it were, the £3, the £3 or £4 fix for the new reluctor rings, is that the drive shaft is going to continue to swell anyway, because it's corroding. Once it started corroding, it's not going to stop no matter how many times you clean it up. So that's worth bearing in mind if you're looking for a quick fix. I know a lot of people do that. They'll replace the reluctor ring and then just sell the car, which is somewhat dishonest, but that's unfortunately the way the motor trade is. So that's sort of just a quick easy guide on what the traction control issue is. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. You may have noticed that this video isn't 60 frames per second, and I've put a post on the community tab about this. Basically, I'm able to film longer videos if I don't do it the 60 FPS. It's still 4K and everything like that. So let me know what you guys think, whether you prefer longer videos or the 60 frames per second shorter videos. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, because I do upload daily about these cars. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.